Well, I just talked into the camera for like 15 minutes just now without hitting record, so let's try again. Let's try to do it right this time. And hello everybody, Peter here. Let's try to do a little Q&A video here. A while ago, I posted a little post on my Twitter saying, ask here any questions that you want me to answer in a future Q&A video. And that was at like the beginning of July, and I totally forgot that I posted that. So now let me hop right into it. Hope you're all doing well today, by the way. Just in no particular order. Let's see here. This one says, if you were never an artist, what would you have done instead of art? That's kind of a curious... I'm not sure entirely what you mean by that, because if you mean by like as an artist, if that's what I do for a living, what would I have done instead of art? I don't know. Just probably something to pay the bills. Hopefully something I enjoyed. But I'm pretty sure, like, even before I was an artist, you know, like for a living, I still did art on the side. Like, I was still an artist, even if that's... You can be an artist and not do it for a living. In fact, it might almost be better that way, because it kind of gets into your head. It feels like worms in your brain. Like even when I worked at, you know, I used to have like a retail job, and and after that I worked at a summer camp. Even then, I spent a lot of my free time drawing, making YouTube videos. I was still an artist then, and I figure even if I had a different job, I would still be an artist. I couldn't imagine myself not being an artist. Unless you mean by that question, if I couldn't make art somehow, in some weird twist of fate, I was physically, mentally, clinically, emotionally, whatever, incapable of art making. I don't know. I don't think I would be the same person. I would be a different, I don't know. I just don't know. This one says, what are your favorite movies? I'm not big on favorites. I'm not good at favorites. I'm not like, why do you have to, it's like favorites. It's like a big thing. I'm just not good at favorites. But some movies I like, I don't know. It's like when you pick a favorite, it like bumps it up to the top of a list, and then like, then you're saying that you like this one, and then like everything else is like worse. But I don't like saying other stuff is worse, because then I can think of all these other reasons I like all this other stuff. And then when you say like, maybe like my top 3, then it's not really a favorite anymore, because you have 3 of them. Like, what if you top 10, not really favorites? For it really be favorite, you know, you got to have one. But I don't want to just have one. I don't like having favorites. I don't really have favorites. I don't know, because you know, and even if I did have favorites, I feel like they would change so often. It's not. It weakens the point. You know. I'm sorry. What if? Burton says, what if you could not sniff? I probably. I probably wouldn't if I couldn't. There was a long portion of my life, I'll tell you right now, in which I could not really sniff. My nose was largely inoperational. There's like all through like middle school, high school, I was a mouth breather. I sat there in class like this. And I don't think it's nice to call people mouth breathers, because usually, at least in my case, I only did it because I wanted to stay alive. You have to breathe to stay alive, and I could not use my nose. Inside your nose, there's a wall between your nostrils like this, and my wall was not like this. It was more like this, and like it was just like all wadded up and messed up. Like I just couldn't breathe through my nose. Plus, in the back of your nose, you have tonsils here. And then in the back of your nose, you have some other tonsil-y things called adenoids. So at some point after high school, I had surgery. I had a septoplasty to straighten out my deviated septum, and an adenoidectomy to remove my adenoids. And now I can breathe much better through my nose. I can sniff now. But before, when I couldn't sniff, I didn't. Now I can, so I do. But as far as your question, what if you could not sniff? If you couldn't, you can't, and you won't, so you don't. And it's sad now. Maybe that's why I'm so obsessed with, like, smelling things, you know? I don't know. Oh, there's actually coffee in there, but, yeah. I used to be a mouth breather, and I drooled a lot, especially when I slept because I couldn't breathe through my nose, so my mouth had to be open all night. It was sad. It was sad and difficult, and it was a rough time in my life, my whole life. It says, what's your favorite color? It's all about context as far as colors go. You can't really have a favorite color. Like, why have a favorite color? I used to have a favorite color when I was younger. Most of middle school, I think. My favorite color, maybe earlier than that, my favorite color was probably, if you asked me, I had done a lot of research. My favorite color was black, but I researched it, and I think I decided that the blackest black, the deepest, it was jet black. So if you asked me, I would have told you it was jet black. And I don't know why I was so obsessed with that. Maybe I thought it was just like, it's like the purest, like inkiest. I don't know. I wasn't even really that obsessed with ink and drawing at the time, but I even wore like some like big oversized black t-shirts. I don't think I was that like emo. I don't think I was emo or anything, but I wore like black t-shirts, and I was a weird kid, you know? I was growing up, going through weird things, and life is difficult. I'm still growing up. I don't know. Just how many Fineliner pens do you have, and what is your photo pen of choice? I'm guessing that was supposed to say go-to pen of choice. I have probably several hundred Fineliner pens. I'm looking at bins of them over there right now. And I don't know. I have a lot. And right now I'm not really using that many Fineliner pens. I'm kind of into technical pens at the moment. I go through phases, you know. There's some little drop of inspiration you can get just by using new, switching up the art supplies you're using new art supplies, you know, going out. Even if it's like the same art supply you're using before, just getting a brand new one from the store. You can get some new. So I go through phases where I use different art supplies. And at the moment I've been using like these Rotring isographs and stuff like that. And that's been fun for me. But the Fineliners still work just as great, just the same as they did before. How many hearts do you think a worm actually has? I'm going to guess 2. How right was I? Someone tell me. What artists inspire you? I think mostly... I'll rattle off a few names. Some of them you may have heard of, some of them you may not have. There's a few classic ones I know you've heard of, you know, like Salvador Dali, Picasso, MC Escher, and I hate rattling off names like this. This is like the favorites thing. Like I know I'll forget one that I know I do love, and then that one that seems like it's less important. I'm probably just thinking of it too much. I'm thinking about it too much. Anyways, I like R. Crumb, Edward Gorey, H.R. Giger, Mobius, Ernst Haeckel, Lebbeus Woods, Bill Watterson. I love the way he draws rocks. Oh, I mean, there's so many more. Anyways, I've probably forgotten someone I absolutely love, but it's all right. This one says, where do you get your inspiration from? I mean, there's not like one specific, it's a classic question, and there's not like one specific place I go to get my inspiration from. Not like some little book I look in, or one little beach scene I go to, or one website, or like, it's a little bit of everything. Like I read somewhere, you know, just from being awake and alive. That's the beauty of life. There's stuff everywhere happening nonstop. It's endless. It's almost overwhelming. It's hard to not get inspired. I've never really understood that question entirely. Maybe that question is supposed to be almost the same as what are your favorite artists? I'm not entirely sure, but I apologize if I'm not better at answering that question, but I've gotten it so many times that I'm still not sure what it's supposed to be at the core. What are your top 3 soups to eat? As long as that can include chowders, because I really like to include, I like New England clam chowder. That's the creamy one, right? One of the clam chowders is like tomatoey. I don't really like tomatoey soups as much, but I like New England clam chowder. I like egg drop soup, and I like I like French onion soup. I'll probably go with those three. It says snakes or snakes. I'll go with snakes. I'll go with snakes. This one says, have you done much traveling? Where would you go and what for? I haven't done a lot of traveling. I've been around the United States a little bit. I went to Belize once. I was born in the Philippines, but all the traveling I did like related to the Philippines was like when I was much younger. I don't remember it much, so I don't really count that, and had like some layovers and like, but I don't know. Every now and then I like the idea of traveling, but whenever I start traveling and go anywhere, I almost immediately get some weird form of homesick. Not really homesick, but I miss my routine. I miss being here and just being able to do my thing. Traveling is very draining for me. And every now and then I do it, and then I realize how tiring traveling is for me. Not physically, but I guess emotionally. And then I come back home and I'm like, I forgot I don't really like that. I like just being here. And then like a year or something goes by and I forget how much, not that I don't like traveling, but it doesn't agree with me a whole lot. I don't know. Every time I travel, I enjoy it, but I don't know. It's very mixed emotions for me. I like being at home. I'm a homebody. This person says, who is Peter Draws? What is your favorite toenail? I'm Peter Draws, and my favorite toenails are I like the little pinky toe toenails on myself and everyone else. That feel like those toenails usually have the most character. On myself, I'm not going to show you just because I'm not into that. It's not that type of YouTube channel yet, but I've seen a lot of real funky, crazy looking pinky toenails because they get pushed up against the side of the shoe and squished and abused for hours and hours and years, and there's a lot of crazy stuff can happen. It says, how did you publish your book, Line of Thought, and why did you choose that particular method? Thank you. I self-published it with a service called CreateSpace, which is owned by Amazon, and I chose it because it was free. And anyone could do it, and I'm anyone, so it worked pretty good. I mean, it's not like, just because it's free doesn't mean it's easy, though. Beware. It still took a while, a lot of fiddling and tinkering. Oh, this person says, how did you find your art style? Just by arting a lot, I suppose. I started out in high school just by doodling. I call it doodling, and eventually I just kept on doodling and making my doodles bigger and bigger, more and more intricate. I think pretty much the main way to find a style is to either copy someone, and then kind of branch off from there. I don't know if that's really a thing. Don't ask me about that, or to just do your own thing for a long time, and eventually it'll kind of coagulate into something and kind of, I don't know, like a style. Like you can't just instantly have a style, I don't think. Maybe you can, I don't know, but time helps. Putting time into it, making a lot of art. Make a lot of art, always. Just do it. What is your personal goal in your cooking? To fill my belly with tasty food. It says, have you ever eaten an ice cube? Yeah, is that unusual? The worst part is when you accidentally eat an ice cube. I'm pretty sure I've accidentally swallowed like a sharp, big old ice cube before. Like you accidentally swallow it, but you're like most of the way, you're too far into swallowing the ice cube before you realize what's going on, so you have to finish swallowing it so you don't die. And my throat was sore for a while. I feel like it's slice cubed my throat on the way down. This person says, are you willing to sacrifice an animal in order to draw with blood? I'm not. I'm pretty sure in order to draw with blood, the easiest way would just be to take some of your own blood, since we can spare quite a bit of it. I mean, people give blood all the time. But I'm not really interested in drawing blood. It seems like just trying to appeal to people with the shock factor. Like, oh, drawing with blood. Look at me, I'm super edgy. This person says, if existence is based on reality, and reality is a creation of human perception, implying humans exist, then how can we even use the word real? What is real? how can we use the word real? Just like say it, real, real. But I don't. What are these ifs? If existence is based on reality, why would existence be based? What does that even mean? And reality is a creation of human perception. Why would that be true? What does that mean? Implying humans exist? I don't know what any of those statements, but none of that makes any sense, by the way. So, I'll just keep saying real, like I always have been, because none of what you asked made any sense. I think we're just saying words. This person says, what do you think the you in a parallel universe is doing right now? I think one of the me's in one of the parallel universes right now is he owns a grocery store chain, like a little supermarché, and he's in the back office, and he's doing all right because he owns. He's like, are these franchised out? I don't know, but he's got it. He owns it. He's the boss of this little. It's like a little town, and it's the only major supermarket. A mini major supermarket, in the town, and he's just like sitting back. He's got his feet kicked up on the desk. He's got there's like a little array of 6 security camera monitors there, and he's kind of looking at them. And but it's just not really what he had in mind. He really wanted with his life. He's doodling on a little legal pad. He really wanted to be sailing around in maybe a 30 or 40 footer, like a little sailboat. He's 35. I know I'm 27 right now, but parallel universe me is 35 right now. Anyways, he's just trying to figure out a way to retire early or make a really long break or something. He's just scraping, but he can't he'll figure it out. I believe in him. He'll get out on the sailboat. Maybe he'll take 6 months off, sail around, realize he doesn't like sailing. He's never really sailed that much, so how does he really know he likes it? He just went out on the lake with his friend. It was not even that big of a lake, so I don't know. The person says, what made you want to start your YouTube channel? Well, I knew I liked time lapses of anything really, like little plants growing or buildings being built or art being drawn. So I was like, yeah, I have a little digital point and shoot camera. Let me point this down on a piece of paper, draw something, speed it up, see if that looks cool. And it did. So I posted it on a YouTube channel that I made because I found out that it's free to make a YouTube channel and free to upload stuff on it. So I thought, why not? And that was years ago, years and years. Over millions of eons and decades and minutes. What makes art good, in my opinion? What are your thoughts on eggs? Art is good if it's either interesting to look at, if my eyes can play over it, and I think if it's interesting to look at, or if I can see something of the artist in it, if I can tell that the artist was struggling with something or happy about something, or I don't know, if the artist was somehow pouring themselves into it, even if it's a good thing or a bad thing, something about the artist, they were happy, sad, frustrated, depressed, ecstatic, something like that, or if it just if it makes me think, it's just something I've never seen before, I never thought about that. That's another cool aspect to art. I like stuff like that sometimes. And my thoughts on eggs. I used to like eggs almost entirely only if they were scrambled, but now I don't really like scrambled eggs at all, and I like them only if they're fried. I like the runny yolks on the inside, and I can share the yolk with the rest of the breakfast. How do your fellow men approach your kind of lifestyle / behavior and my art? My fellow men? Do you mean mankind? Or do you mean my friends that are men? I mean, most of my friends are, probably half my friends are artists and the other half aren't artists. I'm guessing you mean the other ones that aren't artists. They just seem, I mean, I do a lot of like weird stuff, and most of them just seem to like everyone's just like used to it by now. Like, oh, he's an art. You can get away with a lot of weird stuff if you're an artist. People are just like, oh, he's an artist. He can, he's an artist. And if you weren't an artist, you're doing like, what the heck is he doing? Why is he doing that? But if you say you're an artist, you can get away with almost anything. I mean, and by get away with it, I mean get away with it without having to further explain yourself than by just saying you're an artist. People, I mean, whatever. Happy to experience drawing kind of like meditation, or is it more hard work, or maybe even a time to play? I'm curious. Love your work. Yeah, drawing itself is kind of, it is kind of like a playful meditation. Like I do, it does feel like I do kind of get into the zone. Like some people call it flow state or something. I haven't looked into what that is, so I don't know if that's what it is, but it does feel like it is, and sometimes I don't know, sometimes I'm like there and I'm listening to music. And one of the other questions I didn't answer said, do you listen to music? I almost always listen to music when I draw, or if I'm not recording myself, I'm over here at this desk. I have like a Netflix or something on just that I look up at every now and then I'm listening to. I rarely work in complete silence, but I still get into a very just like a weird trance state a lot of the times where I'm just drawing and time disappears and I'm just me and the lines, you know. It's great. I love it. And the part that feels more like hard work and that kind of drags on a bit is the video editing afterwards, which almost sometimes takes as much or more time as the drawing, because I don't know if I'm bad at it or if it's just something that takes time. I don't know, but I love the drawing. It makes it all worth it. I love that I'm able to spend so much time drawing. Ever had a dream where you were some sort of berry-flavored pie? No. And if the answer is never, it is, then my question is, ever seen a laser show? I have seen a laser show. One time I was at that, was that thing in Georgia, Stone Mountain? I have like that big stone mountain. I went there, they had a laser show on the side of the mountain. And then one time I also went to this planetarium with some friends, and there was a Led Zeppelin laser show on the ceiling of the planetarium, which was cool. And then we stayed, and they had a Metallica laser show. Also very cool. All right, that's all for now. We'll try to do more of these in the future. Follow me over on Twitter to see when I post the next little question thing. And yeah, hope you all have a good day. Thanks for hanging out. Goodbye.